Hi, today we're looking at Functional Skills Maths Level 2. This is the Training Qualifications UK exam board. We've got examination past paper 6 and we're going to start with the non-calculator section. Question 1. Work out 2.109 plus 0.98. Okay, so we're going to write this 2.109 and below it we're going to put the 0.98. Have a horizontal line and show that we're doing an addition. Now I'm going to put a 0 in here, so we've got something to add. So we've got 9 plus 0 is still 9. 0 plus 8 is 8. 1 plus 9 is 10. 0 carry the 1. Bring down the decimal point. 2 plus 1 is 3. So we've got an answer of 3.089. Question 2. Work out the difference between minus 4,600, put the comma in there, and 8,000. Right, so I'm going to draw a number line for this. So imagine we've got 0 here. Minus 4,600 is going to be somewhere down here, and 8,000 is going to be somewhere up here. So the difference between them is going to be this bit. Well, this bit is going to be 4,600, and this bit, which is going to be 8,000. So actually, although it looks like it might be a subtraction, because that's what we'd normally do for the difference, we can actually think of it as an addition, because we want the 4,600 plus 8,000. So 0 plus 0 is 0, 0 plus 0 is still 0, 6 plus 0 is 6, 4 plus 8 is 12. So we've got 12,600. Okay, question 3. Round 7.5385 to one decimal place. Okay. And then use your rounded value to estimate the answer to 30,000 times 7.5385. Okay, so one decimal place. Well, this is the first decimal place, the 5. So we look at the digit after it. If it's less than a 5, which it is, then we can just ignore all of this. So this rounded is going to be 7.5. Okay. If the 3 had been a 5 or a 6 or higher, then we'd round it up to 7.6. Okay. Right, so we want 30,000 times, let's write it here, 30,000. Instead of this number, we're now going to use our 7.5. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ignore all my zeros, and I'm going to ignore the decimal point. So I'm just going to have 75 times 3. So basically, I'm ignoring anything that looks complicated. Okay, no zeros, no decimal point, but we're going to put them in at the end. So 3 times 5, 5, 10, 15. 5 carry the 1. 3 times 7, 7, 14, 21. Add the 1, 22. Right, now let's put on the zeros first. So 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros we ignored. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, we've done those. What about the decimal point? We had one decimal place. So we're going to have one decimal place to put the point in there. So now if we just look at this that we've got here, we've got 2, 2, 5, and then 1, 2, 3 zeros. So we've got 225,000. Question 4. Work out 7 squared, and then we've just got brackets, 40 divided by 4. Well, when you've got something like this, if you've got a number next to brackets, there's an invisible multiply sign. You don't have to put it there. This is sort of algebraic notation, but it means that it's multiply. Now, we've got the 7 squared bit here. We've also got 40 divided by 4, and this bit is in brackets. So if you remember, you always do the brackets first. Well, 40 divided by 4, actually let's do it like the bus stop method. Well, 4 goes into 4 once, 4 goes into 0, 0 times. So 40 divided by 4 is 10. So it means that this is actually equal to, well, we've still got the 7 squared, but instead of times 40 divided by 4, we can replace all of that with 10. Right, so now we've got to think what we've got to do next. Well, we've got a power here, so we've got to do the 7 squared bit next before we do the multiplication. Well, 7 squared means 7 times 7. So we've got 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49. So we can put that in for 7 squared now. So we've now got 49 times 10. Well, if you're multiplying anything by 10, we just put a 0 on the end. So we've got 490. Okay. Question 5. Ashley needs to cut a piece of wood as shown. Okay, so along this black line here. Ashley thinks angle A will be 140 degrees. Is Ashley correct? So this is this angle here. Well, we've already got that this is 50 degrees. We can see that this is a straight line. And I know that the angles in a straight line all add up to 180 degrees. So if we want to know what A is, we just need to do 180 minus 50. So 0 minus 0 is still 0. 8 minus 5 is 3. 1 minus nothing is 1. Okay, so he thinks it'll be 140 degrees. We've just worked out it's 130 degrees. So we can say it's not equal to 130 degrees. So is Ashley correct? No, they're not. Question 6. There are 300 sweets in a box. There are 52 chocolate sweets, 150 strawberry sweets, and 98 lemon sweets. One sweet is chosen at random. What is the probability that the sweet chosen is a chocolate sweet? Give your answer as a fraction in its simplest form. Right, so 1 is chosen at random out of all of these. So we've got 300 to choose from. So that's going to be our denominator in the fraction. We want a chocolate sweet. Well, we've got 52 chocolate ones. So this is our fraction, our probability. But they want it in its simplest form. So we're going to look for common factors of the two numbers. So in other words, a number that divides into 52 and also divides into 300 without any remainder. Well, they're both even numbers. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to divide them both by 2. So let's do this up here. 52 divided by 2. 2 goes into 5 twice, with 1 left over. 2 goes into 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. That's 6 times. So we can write this as 26. And we also need to divide the 300 by 2. 2 goes into 3 once with 1 left over. 2 goes into 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's 5 times. And 2 goes into 0, 0 times. So we can simplify this down to 126 over 150. Now they're still both even numbers, so we can divide them both by 2 again. Now if you see a larger common factor, you can do that all in one go, that's absolutely fine. But I think with something like this, often just keep dividing by 2 if they're both even, and you'll get down to more manageable numbers. So we want 26 divided by 2. Well, 2 goes into 2 once. 2 goes into 6. 2, 4, 6. That's 3 times. So this is going to be 13 on the top. And we've got to divide 150 by 2 as well. 2 doesn't go into 1. What about 2 into 15? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 is 7 times. Remainder 1. 2 goes into 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 5 times. So we get this down to 13 over 75. You can see whether you can simplify it further. I know we can't simplify it further because I know that 13 is a prime number, so that's not going to go smaller. And I don't believe that 75 is in the 13 times table. But if you want to try it, test it out, that's the only way it would go into it, because the only factors of 13 are 1 and 13. So if 13 doesn't go into 75, well then we know this is as simple as it gets. So we can then write 13 over 75 in our answer box. Okay, now we've got question 7. A steel block has mass equal to 7,850 grams and volume 1,000 centimetres cubed. Work out the density of the concrete block. Well, the density is how much weight there is of something for each sort of small area. So we've got 1,000 centimetres cubed, so we want to know how much weight there would be for 1 centimetre cubed. So in other words, we want 7,850 divided by 1,000. So dividing by 1,000, if you imagine we've got a decimal point here, we've got 3 zeros, we're going to make it smaller, 1, 2, 3 times. So we get an answer of 7.85. Now the units are important here because it's grams, but it's grams per centimetre cubed. Question 8. Enkai needs 2.5 litres of water. The jug Enkai uses measures in pints. Enkai measures out 4.5 pints of water. Does Enkai have enough water? Show how you decide. Use 1 litre equals 1.759 pints. Okay, so we've got an amount in litres, an amount in pints. We need to get them both in the same units so we can compare them. Now, this conversion goes nicely from 1 litre to pints. So we can use this. So if 1 litre is 1.759 pints, well then 2.5 litres is going to be whatever 2.5 times 1.759 is. So we're going to do this multiplication. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to ignore the decimal points and we'll put them back in afterwards. So let's start with 5 times 9. 9, 18, 27, 36, 45. Carry the 4. 5 times 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Plus the 4 is 29. Carry the 2. 5 times 7. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35. Plus the 2 is 37. Carry the 3. We've got 1 times 5 is 5. Plus the 3 is 8. Now we're going to multiply by the 2. So this is in the tens, so we're going to have no units. So 2 times 9, 9, 18. 8, carry the 1. 2 times 5 is 10. Add the 1 is 11. 2 times 7, 7, 14. Add the 1 is 15. And 1 times 2 is 2. Plus 1 is 3. Okay, so we need to add these together. So 5 plus 0 is 5. 9 plus 8 is 17. 7 plus 1 is 8. Plus 1 is 9. 8 plus 5 is 13. 3 plus 1 is 4. So we've got 43975. Remember we had 1 decimal place here and another 3 decimal places here. So 4 decimal places altogether. So we can put the decimal point back in. So start with the decimal point at the end. We need to go 4 times, we said. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is going to be 4.3975. So that's how much, he needs 2.5 litres. So we can say he now needs 4.3975 pints. He's measured out 4.5 pints, which is more. So has he got enough? Yes, he has. So he needs this amount. He's got this amount. And that's the end of the non-calculator section. So now on to the calculator section. Question 1. Write down the mode of these numbers. The mode is the number that occurs most often. So 8.375, we've got 1 here. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write the numbers. 8.375. We've got 1, 2 of those. What about 8.4000? We've got 1. That's the only one of them. Then we've got 8.000. Just one of those. 8.750. We've got one of them. Yeah. 8.5. In fact, we've only got one of these. We've got one of those. So the only number we've got more than one of is this number here. So it must be the mode. 8.375. Okay, question 2. The diagram shows a triangular prism. Work out the area of the base of the prism. So the base is the bottom here. So although it looks at a funny angle here, it's actually a rectangle. And it's a rectangle which is 6 centimetres across this short end. And this long end, don't be distracted by the 4 because the 4 is the height. This is actually that length up there. So this is going to be 15 centimetres. And the area of a rectangle is the length times the width. So it's 15 times 6. We can use our calculator. 15 times 6 gives us 90 centimetres squared. Question 3. Nilam wants to buy a new laptop. Nilam finds these offers for the same laptop on different websites. Website A is 3/8 off. Website B is 34% off. Which website gives the bigger discount? Show how you decide. Okay, so we've got them in two different formats. The nicest one is probably to convert the fraction into a percentage. And the way we do that is we'll work out the 3/8, or 3 divided by 8, and then just multiply it by 100. So we'll get a percentage. So calculator, 3 divided by 8 times 100, we've got 37.5. Okay, well, 37.5% is bigger than 34%, so the bigger discount is website A. Question 4. Use this formula to convert 15 degrees Celsius into degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so F equals 9C divided by 5 plus 32. When you've got a number next to a letter, it means you multiply them together. So let's just write that out. So 9 times, well, instead of C is the temperature in degrees Celsius, and we're told that that's 15. So we're going to want 9 times 15 divided by 5 plus 32. And because this is on top of the fraction, it's like this is in brackets, so we're going to do that bit first. Although, to be honest, it wouldn't matter if we did the division first, but we're going to do it as it's given. So 9 times 15 is 135. We're going to divide it by the 5 to get 27. Add on the 32. So you could write down some of the steps, but I'm just going to do it all in one go there and write it in our answer box. Question 5. Charu normally sells cakes for £4 each. Charu raises the selling price of each cake to £12. That's quite an increase. Calculate the percentage increase. Right, so to find out the percentage increase, the first thing you need is the actual increase. So we want £12 minus £4. Might not need a calculator for this, but 12 minus 4 gives us £8. And then to work it out as a percentage change, it's going to be the actual change divided by the starting price, which was 4, and then multiply it by 100 to get the percentage. So we've still got the 8 in the calculator, divide it by 4, times it by 100. So it's a 200% percentage change. So 200, so it's twice, well, the increase is twice as big as the original. Yeah, which looks, we can see. I mean, you might look at it and say it's 3 times the price, so you've got the original 100% plus 2 more 100% added on. Question 6. Sasa wants to put a picnic table in a garden. The table needs to be in the shape of a square with side length 0.5 meters. So let's just draw that there. Square, 0.5 meters that way, and 0.5 meters that way, and 1 meter away from the fish pond. Draw a possible position for the table on the scale diagram below. And we're given a scale here of 1 to 25. That means every 1 centimetre on the diagram is 25 centimetres in real life. Okay, so I'll just do that. So that means we can use this conversion to work out some, or turn these distances into numbers of squares on the grid. However, at the moment we've got these in centimetres and we've got these in metres. But I know that we've got 100 centimetres in 1 metre. So 0.5, well 0.5 is half. So half a metre is going to be half of 100. Okay, so 100 divided by 2. And hopefully you can work this one out, but we've got that that's 50 centimetres. And for 1 metre, we've already said 1 metre is 100 centimetres. Okay, so it's useful to know that this square is 50 centimetres either side. We want to turn it into numbers of squares on the grid. So what we need to do is 50 divided by 25. So 50 divided by 25. Well, that's 2. Okay, so that means that we want this grid to be 2 squares. Okay, 2 squares are either way. And we also know we need it 1 metre away from the fish pond. Well, if we divide the 100 centimetres by 25, we'll see that that means it's going to be 4 squares on the grid. So let's have a look more carefully at this diagram. Here's our fish pond down here. We said we need to be a metre away, which we said was 4 squares. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Same on this side, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can draw a straight line across. And we know it can't be anywhere in here, because this would be within 1 metre of the fish pond. It can be anywhere in this space. And we know it needs to be, we said 2 squares by 2 squares. So pick here, 1, 2, and up 1, 2. Draw this on. And this is going to be our table. It could be anywhere in this area, so long as it's 2 squares across, 2 squares up. Question 7. Frankie needs to order 400 cupcakes for a party. Frankie needs to order lemon, strawberry and chocolate cupcakes in the ratio 9 to 4 to 3. So every time he orders 9 lemon ones, he's going to get 4 strawberry ones and 3 chocolate ones. Frankie thinks there will be 100 more lemon cupcakes than strawberry cupcakes. Is Frankie correct? Well, let's work it out. Let's draw a ratio table. So we're going to have L for lemon, S for strawberry, C for chocolate, and we'll have a total column. We know that it's 9 lemon to 4 strawberry to 3 chocolate. If that's all we had, 9, 4 and 3, well then the total would be 9 plus 4 plus 3, which is 16. But actually we're told he's going to order 400. So how many lots of this row do we need for 400? So we can do 400 divided by 16, which gives us 25. So if 400 is 25 times 16, we're going to need to multiply all of these by 25 to tell us how many we're going to have of each flavour. So 25 times 9 is 225. Now 4 times 25 is 100, and 3 times 25 is 75. And if we want to check, we should get that 225 plus 100 plus 75 gives us 400. Good. Now, Frankie thinks there will be 100 more lemon cakes than strawberry. Well, 225 is a lemon, minus the number of strawberries. This will tell us how many more there are. 225 minus 100 is 125. Well, that's not equal to 100. So, is Frankie correct? No. Now, you might say, well, it's more than 100, and you're right. But the question is phrased, he thinks there will be 100 more. Not 100 or more, or bigger than 100, but they specifically say 100. It's not equal to 100, so we say no. Question 8. Drew is a manager of a company and needs to set the budget for next year. This year, there was a budget of £980,000. Drew increases this budget by 4%. Drew thinks the new budget will be less, and I'll put my commas in, than £1,020,000. Is Drew correct? So what we want to do is we want to work out 4% of this. So 4 out of 100 of, which means times 980,000, and then we'll add it on. So 4 divided by 100 times 980,000 gives us 39,200. We then want to add that back on to the original 980,000. Which gives us 1,019,200. So 1,019,200. Well, that is a bit less than 1,020,000. He thinks it will be less than that. So, yes, Drew's correct. You can do this slightly differently. Instead of working out 4% and then adding it on, you could go straight for 104%. So you could do 104 divided by 100, and that would get you straight to this answer here. Question 9. Deo needs to paint the outside of this cylinder, including the top and the bottom. So we've got the distance from one side to the other side is 60 centimetres, so that's the diameter. And we've got the height is 80 centimetres. Deo thinks the total area to be painted is less than 20,000 centimetres squared. Is Deo correct? show how you decide, and use pi equals 3.14. So we're talking about painting the outside, so this is the surface area that we're interested in. So if we think, I'm going to just do a dotted line here. So we can say if we're looking at the surface area, we've got the top, which is a circle. We've got the bottom, which is a circle. And then we've got this outside thing, which is round, but if you cut it and spread it out, this would actually be in the shape of a rectangle. So you would have something that would look like this long rectangle with a circle on the top and a circle on the bottom. And we're going to work out the area of all three. So we know that this rectangle is going to be 80 centimetres down that way. If we want to know how long it is, well, that's actually going to be the circumference of the circle. So we want to work out the circumference. And the circumference, well, you can think of it as either pi times d, the diameter, or pi r squared. Sorry, not pi r squared, that's what I'm saying. 2 pi r for the circumference. It's a mistake. Okay, we've got the diameter given, so we'll go with this version. Okay, so we want pi, which I've said is 3.14, times the diameter, which is 60. So 3.14 times 60 gives us 188.4 centimetres. So that's our circumference. So that is how long our rectangle is. Okay, so in fact, let's do it here. So area of rectangle is going to be 188.4, so the length, times the width, which is 80 centimetres, to give us, we've still got that in the calculator, times 80 is 15,072 centimetres squared. Okay, so that's the first bit worked out. Now we want the area of our circles. So we'll do this, let's do it over here. So the area of a circle is what I wrote down before, pi r squared, where we know that pi, they're telling us to use 3.14, times the radius. Well, the radius is half the diameter. So we want 60 divided by 2 for half of it, which is 30. So it's times the radius squared. So that means that times the radius times itself. So 3.14 times 30 times another 30 gives us 2,826, and that's centimetres squared. Okay, so if we want to work out the total area, or the total surface area, it's going to be 15,072 for the rectangle, plus 2,826 centimetres squared for the top, and plus another 2,826 centimetres for the base. So we've got this here. We want 2 of them, so let's multiply that by 2. And then add on 15,072, which gives us 20,724 centimetres squared. Okay, Deo thinks the total area to be painted is less than 20,000. Well, no, this is more than 20,000 centimetres squared. So is Deo correct? No. Deo is incorrect. Exclamation mark. Question 10. On Monday, are you? got a new TV package. On Tuesday, Kai got the same TV package but got a 20% discount. Kai pays £21.60 per month after receiving the discount. How much does Aya pay for the package? So Kai's already had the discount. So this £21.60 doesn't relate to the full 100% that Aya paid, but it's 28% off. So we can think of this as 100 minus 28. Which is 72%. Okay, so it's only 72% of the original. So if we want to work out what the original is, what I is paying, well, we want £21.60. Divide it by 72. That'll tell us what 1% is. Then if we want to know what 100 is, 100%, we then multiply it by 100. In fact, it might be easier if I write it like this. Multiplying it by 100 over 72. Whichever way is easier for you to think of it. So I'm going to work it out this way. So £21.60 divided by 72. This tells us how much 1% costs. We want 100%, so we multiply it by 100, which takes us up to £30. Okay. But they want to know how much more does Aya pay. Well, Aya's paying 30. Kai's paying £21.60. So work out the difference. 30 minus 21.60, we get 8.4, but because it's money, we're going to write it as £8.40. Question 11. Cam is setting up a new fish tank. The fish tank is in the shape of a cylinder. Okay, so this time we've got a diameter of 80 centimetres and a height of 120 centimetres. Cam uses this formula to work out how many pounds of gravel to add to the tank. And they say the amount of gravel in pounds is the volume of the tank divided by 4,546. How much gravel does Cam need to add to the tank? So we want the volume this time. I'm going to do my dotted base of the circle there so we can see we've got a 3D shape. Okay, we want the volume. Well, if it was a cuboid, we'd want the length times the width times the height. When it comes to a cylinder, we want the base, which will be like the area of the circle, times the height. So we want the area of the circle first of all. If you remember, for the area of the circle, we want pi r squared. And r is equal to the diameter divided by 2. So we want 80 divided by 2, which is 40 centimetres. So the area of the circle is 3.14 times 40 times 40. Which is 5,024 centimetres squared. Right, so that's our area. For the volume, we need to take that area and multiply it by the height, which is 120, to give us 602,880, and that is pounds, LBS. And that's the volume. We need the volume of the tank divided by 4,546. So 602,880 divided by 4,546. And luckily I've still got the original value in my calculator. So divided by 4546, and we get 132.61768. Sorry, this is the pounds. That wasn't in pounds, was it? That was the volume, so that would have been in centimetres cubed. This is in pounds. How much gravel does Cam need to add the tank? We've got our answer here. We can round it, maybe round it to 2 decimal places. This is more than 5, so we'll round it to 132.62 pounds. It's up to you if you want to round it or give all the values. They haven't specified, so any of those would be fine. Question 12. Quinn wants to buy a new computer for £3,000. Quinn paid £1,500 into a new savings account 2 years ago. The savings account paid 2% compound interest per year. Quinn uses all of the money that's now in the savings account as a deposit towards the computer. The balance will be paid in equal instalments of £119.95. How long will it take Quinn to pay for the computer? Okay, so we've got £1,500 and it's 2% compound interest each year. So after the first year, it will have grown to 102%. Okay, because we want 100 plus the original 100 plus 2. So 102%, think of that as 102 divided by 100, which is 1.02. So we want 1,500 times 1.02. That will give us how much the money is worth after 1 year. Because it's 2 years ago, we multiply it by 1.02 again. So in other words, 1.02 squared. So 1,500 times 1.02 times another 1.02, because we get the interest on the interest. That takes us up to £1,560.6, which would be 60p. We want to know how much, that's the deposit. So the amount left to pay would be 3,000 minus £1,560.60. So put that in my memory. 3,000 minus memory recall gives us £1,439.40. Now we're paying this in instalments of £119.95. So we want £1,439.40 divided by £119.95. 119.95 gives us 12 instalments. And each instalment is a monthly instalment, so 12 instalments. Don't leave it there. So the answer is either going to be 12 months or 1 year. Okay. Question 13. Jude grows sunflowers in 2 different fields. These are the heights of each flower in field A. So 134 centimetres, 186 centimetres, and so on. This is a summary of the heights of each flower in field B. So a mean height of 162 centimetres and a range of 70 centimetres. Jude claims, on average, sunflowers grew taller in field A. And B, the heights are more consistent in field A. Are both of Jude's claims correct? Give reasons for your answers. Okay, so what we need to do is to work out the mean and the range for field A. Well, for the mean, we need the total of all the values and then divide it by how many there are, or the frequency. So let's add them all up. 134 plus 186, plus 120, plus 200, plus 118, plus 166, gives a total of 924. That's going to be centimetres, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. So divide it by 6 to get a mean of 154. In fact, we can write the mean over here. Now for the range we want the biggest value, or it's the difference between the biggest value and the smallest value. So what's the biggest? 134, 200 is our biggest, and our smallest, 120, 180. Okay, so the range, so we don't need that. The range is going to be 200 minus 118. Oh, sorry, I mistyped. 200 minus 118. 82 centimetres, which we can put in there. So now let's have a look at his claims again. Right. So on average, sunflowers grew taller in field A. No, the mean is smaller, so we can say no. The mean in field A is 154 centimetres versus 162 centimetres. The heights are more consistent in field A. Well, if they're more consistent, that means the range would be smaller. It would mean they're closer together. Again, that's not true. It's bigger. So for this one, we can also say no. And we can say the range is bigger in field A. And it's always good to quote the values, so we can put 82 centimetres versus 70 centimetres. And on the sheet, you've got boxes here. So what I've just written up there, you'd write down in these two places here. Okay. Question 14. Zuri wants to put a wooden border around the flower bed shown. Okay, so here it is. We've got our measurements in feet. Zuri measured the dimensions of the garden in feet. The shop sells wood in metres. Zuri will buy 12% more wood than needed to allow for mistakes. How many metres of wood does Zuri need to buy in total? Use 1 foot equals 0.305 metres. Right, well, it's the flower bed, so it's going around the outside, so we want the perimeter. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add them all together first to get our total in feet, and then we can convert it into metres. If we converted each one into metres, it would just take a lot longer. So we'll work out the perimeter first. So it's going to be, let's start here. So it's going to be the 2 plus 1.75 plus 2.5 plus 1.75 plus another 2 feet to take us back to the beginning. So 2 plus 1.75 plus 2.5 plus 1.75, 1.75 plus 2 gives us 10 feet. Okay, we know that 1 foot is 0.305 metres, so if we want 10 feet, we're just going to multiply this by 10. So 10 times 0.305 is going to be 3.05 metres. But Zuri will buy 12% more wood than needed to allow for mistakes. So we want 12%, 12 out of 100, times 3.05 to get our 12%. So times that by 12 out of 100, which is 0.366. That's the 12%. We want to add that back on to the original 3.05 metres, which gives us 3.416 metres. That's our final answer. We don't need to round it. Often they might say you can only buy the wood in 1 metre lengths or something like that, but they haven't said that here. So we can just leave it as 3.416 metres. Okay, and finally for this paper, we've got question 15. Jordan wants to tile this floor. Okay, so we've got, it's like a square with a triangle stuck on. We're told Jordan finds these prices, price per square metre. So we've got quite a few different prices here. Jordan buys the tiles with the median price. How much will Jordan pay in total? Give your answer to the nearest pound. Right, so we've got to do two things. We're going to have to work out the area and then multiply it by the price. But for the price, they said it's the median price, so we want the one that's in the middle. Now, these prices aren't sorted yet, so we can't just say, oh, that's in the middle. We've got to rank them from smallest to largest first. So what's the smallest? That's the smallest one. Then the next cheapest would be this one, 2. Then 60, this would be third cheapest. Then 75, then 80, and then the two 100s. Okay, so let's write these out in order. So 45.75, 2 was £50.99, 3 was £60.50, 4 was £75.99, 5 was £80.50, and then 6 and 7 were both 100. So to find the median, we cross out the smallest and the largest. We keep doing that in pairs. And because we've got an odd number of values, we just get one in the middle. Okay, so we're going to use £75.99. But we need to know how many metres squared we need. So let's go back to our diagram here. Well, you could do this in two ways. You could either say, let's think of this as a square plus a triangle, which is what I think I'm going to do. Or you could say, oh, this is a trapezium. I think just using the trapezium formula is probably a bit more complicated and we'd have to add these values together. If you want to do that, that's fine, but I'm going to work out these separately. So area of the square is 4.1 times 4.1. Calculator, 4.1 times 4.1 gives us 16.81 metres squared. And then we want the area of a triangle. This isn't quite as straightforward. We want a half times the base times the height. Well, a half, we can think of it as 0.5. The base is 3.4. And the height here is 4.1. So 0.5 times 3.4 times 4.1 gives 6.97 metres squared. So our total area is 16.81 plus 6.97. We'll add them the other way around because that's how we've got them on the calculator, which gives 23.78 metres squared. Okay, all we need to do with that now is multiply it by the price. So let's move this up a bit. So we've got 23.78 metres squared, and we're going to be paying £75.99 per square metre. Still got that in the calculator, times 75.99, and gives us 1,807.0422. But because this is money, we only want pounds and pence, but actually they've said to the nearest pound. So these are the pounds. We look at the digit afterwards. It's less than 5. So we can all ignore all of that and just say to the nearest pound, it's £1,807. And that's the end of the paper. So I hope you found it helpful. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications so you find out when I add more videos, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.